Hey guys, it's Deborah. I wanted to talk to you today about the beast that rises out of the sea. I just done a video on the Leviathan, which is that new pipeline that Israel has coming out of the water and how that relates to biblical prophecy. So you can check that out. But as I was reading Revelation recently, I was praying about this beast that comes out of the sea and that it has 10 horns and it has 7 heads and 10 crowns. And I'll read that verse in a moment. And when I was reading that, I asked the Lord, who is this? What is this? I'm sure I've heard some stuff about it. I like to ask the Lord myself what these things are, not just like listen to what other people think. So wait for the Holy Spirit to tell me. And he started pouring stuff out on me. And like, when you ask, then you will receive if it's like in his will, basically. So if you're just asking for whatever, then that's not the same as if it's in his will. You know, David was a man after God's own heart because he wanted his plan to come to pass, like the temple to be built, like basically, when you pray the Lord's Prayer and, it says, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. That's what God wants, us to care about his will in heaven as it to be done on earth. He wants us to care about his bigger plan, not just our plans. And so when I ask for these kind of things, I notice that he tells me pretty quick. And I got some help from Brother Keegan. I don't know if you guys heard of him, but basically, if you watch TOL End Times, it's a channel called TOL, Talking Out Loud About the End Times with Brother Chooch. He has a Rapture 2020 series out right now that he's doing with Brother Keegan. And turns out that I got to know Brother Keegan a little bit here now on my channel, and he's helped me out a lot. He has amazing information, so thanks for that, Brother Keegan, because he's given me links. And it was literally at the time when I was like, Lord, tell me more about these 10 horns and 7 heads and all that. So he showed me a lot, and it really relates to also what's happening with the US right now and Iran and all this kind of stuff. So it was perfect timing. So let's get into the scripture to see what it says in Revelation about this. So in Revelation 13, it said, "And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and the feet was the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. And I saw one of his heads as it was wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast." This is where they get, people believe, the Antichrist is one of the heads, and that it will be wounded and then come back to life. They worship the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worship the beast, saying, "Who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him?" So I got that the dragon gave the beast the power, and I got that, there were 10... that there were 10 horns and there were 7 heads, and then there was the 10 crowns. Now, I don't have the answer for everything, but I got some more. The Lord showed me some more about the 10 horns. So that's kind of where I am right now with the 10 horns. I don't 100% understand the 7 heads and the crowns yet, but the horns, it's key, and it's pretty cool what I've come to and stuff. So, where am I now? So yeah, you can see it's clearly the Antichrist, because we know the lion, the leopard, and the bear, and the dragon gave him his power. So we've heard all this before. So where am I going with this with relation to nowadays? So Brother Keegan had sent me this article about Bastille Day, and maybe you guys knew this because this was back in July, but it all fits because I was like, Lord, who are these 10 horns? And I felt like he was showing me it's about Europe. And I was like, okay, I'm just confused. Is this the European Union or whatever? And then when he sent me this article, it totally fit together, because this is like a military parade thing that they did in France in July. So here it says, with the European Intervention Initiative, 10 European countries, remember 10 horns, are committed to Europe's protection, tweeted the French defense military. The Bastille Day parade was carefully planned to confirm the importance of the close cooperation among European allies. So, yeah. Now it says the parade along the Champs-Élysées. Okay, I'm not saying that right. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, sorry, was observed not only by French President Emmanuel Macron, but also German Chancellor Angela Merkel and leaders from the Netherlands, Belgium, Portugal, Estonia, and Finland marching in the parade itself were personnel from 9 other European nations. Germany, Spain, the United Kingdom, Belgium, Denmark, Estonia, the Netherlands, Portugal, and Finland. So there are 9 nations marching to like in like about it's about the army, like it's about protecting themselves, and there's basically 10 in total and they're European. So yeah, then it goes on to say, why were 9 other nations marching on France's big day? They are all members of the European Intervention Initiative, an exclusive European military alliance operating outside of European Union rules, yet benefiting from shared EU military projects. The initiative aims to involve only nations willing and able to use their militaries. It is designed to achieve Macron's vision for a sovereign, united, and democratic Europe, according to a British Parliament briefing on the subject. With the European Intervention Initiative, Macron is well aware that the Atlantic Alliance is falling apart, and these European initiatives are actually designed to compete against the United States. This is all going to tie in with this 10 horns and what is happening right now. To face new threats, Europe needs a strong defense, the French Defense Ministry stated online after Macron unveiled his plans. What exactly are those threats, according to Duch? Okay, whatever. Among the nations that worry France is the US. Because of its increasing spending on space warfare, the US is now listed alongside aggressive rivals, Russia, China, India, and others. So now the US is an aggressive rival against basically Europe, they're thinking. Okay, here's another article that Brother Keegan sent me. France maintains the goal of creating a European army. So he's pretty serious about this, and this is the Bloomberg report. So this was again back in July. It was about the same kind of the parade, but it's just from a different standpoint. That was the trumpet. It was a Christian article. This one says France's long-term ambition is to work with several other states to create a European army to share in procurement. Okay, I can't really see because I'm reading something really small right now. Anyway, command and operations. Defense Minister Florence Parly said in an interview with Le Paysan newspaper. I learned French and I spoke French for like not fluently, but in Canada you learn French as your second language, and I'm not so great. My kids are fluent and completely French speakers, but not so much me. Anyway, newspaper reasserting the plan announced by President Emmanuel Macron. Details of a continental army have yet to be defined and may emerge from the current European Intervention Initiative, an existing effort at military cooperation that has focused on procurement and operations among 10 nations. 10 nations, more countries, including Sweden and Norway, are expected to join, Parley said. So when I asked, I said, Lord, who are these 10 horns? Now, I'm not saying I'm 100% sure, but all I know is I asked and that started coming, all this kind of information. And here it is again with the 10 nations, that they are afraid of the United States and they are basically they're protecting themselves against the United States. And yeah, you can see here, this is the beast. It has 7 heads and 10 horns. And so basically, I'm still putting the pieces together, but I don't know if I'm going to do this in 2 parts. I'm going to try to do it all in one. Yeah, I think I will. So it's probably going to be like at least 20 minutes long, this video. But anyway, so I'm just working as I go along. I'm not, I didn't plan it 100% out, but like you'll get the point at the end. So basically here, what you have is a scenario where, and I am not trying to, I don't wish bad on the United States or anything like that, clearly, but Bible prophecy is going to play out. It just is what it is. So you have a scenario where you have Europe who was alongside the US for a long time, like Britain was their mother, basically, now saying they're afraid of them and are like upset with them. Then I got to thinking, wait a minute, there were 10 toes in the King Nebuchadnezzar's dream that Daniel interpreted. And I was like, the 10 toes, could they have a significance here? Because there's 10 horns. Because Daniel and Revelation go side by side. And Brother Keegan, I asked him again, I'm like, what do you think about that? And he's like, yes, they go together. So see here, the statue, we had the different empires, and then the feet made of iron and clay talk about like a divided kingdom, and it says miry clay. And from what I've heard, the miry clay is looked at as like a dirty religion almost. And so it's like not clean. So that's the feet, but then there's the toes, okay? And then here it says the 10 kings. Look, question mark, European Union, New World Order. And what did you just see here? There are 10 nations that were marching that are trying to get together. Now, what do you have? Okay, this all ties into Nebuchadnezzar's dream to me, because what's the first kingdom? The head, which of gold, which was the Babylon kingdom. That's Nebuchadnezzar's age, and it's like coming right back full circle around to now Mystery Babylon. So it started all falling into place to me, because I'm like, so the 10 horns relate to the 10 toes, and this statue is about all the empires, and we're in the end. This is the last kingdom, that last age. This is it, and we're down to the toes. We're not even on the feet or the shins or the knees. We're at the toes. That's it. And what is this statue? What is the head of the statue? And who had the dream? It was Nebuchadnezzar, and that was Babylon. And what are we waiting to have revealed is Mystery Babylon. And then I started looking more into it, started reading more about these 10 horns and how do they feel about Mystery Babylon and what happens to Mystery Babylon and with these horns, and does it fit anything in our modern age right now? So this is now going to be part 2 of what I came to and what the Lord showed me after me asking one simple question: who are the 10 horns? So let's get into now Mystery Babylon. So I kind of had to take a pause. I'm actually recording this hours and hours and hours later than I was talking just a minute ago, which you would know, but hopefully I know where I left off, because this is kind of a little bit on the fly. Anyway, this is not an in-depth study on Babylon or an in-depth study on, Revelation 17:18, like on the horns and all this stuff in the beast. It's kind of like just a bit of some tie-in, and then to kind of also show you what's happening today in our society, to show you that this is happening, this could be happening right now before our very eyes. So anyway, like I said, this is not an in-depth study, but I can link in the description box below a more in-depth study on Babylon, Mystery Babylon, and stuff like that I find interesting. Anyway, so let me read some of Revelation 17:18. So we just talk a little bit about who Mystery Babylon might be and just what the Bible says about Mystery Babylon. And then we can tie it into these 10 horns, because she's sitting on the beast with the 10 horns. So it's tied in. And I had already said that it's tied into Nebuchadnezzar's dream with the 10 toes. And those are 10 kings in the end time kingdom in the feet of the miry clay and iron. Okay, so let's start reading. So Revelation 17, one of the 7 angels who had the 7 bowls came and said to me, "Come, I will show you the punishment of the great prostitute who sits on many waters. With her the king," so there's a key, this place, whatever it is, it has to sit on many waters. "With her the kings of the earth committed adultery, and inhabitants of the earth were intoxicated with the wine of her adultery." So this is a place that's extremely influential. "Then the angel carried me away in the spirit into a desert. There I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet beast that was covered with blasphemous names." Now this beast is that same one that was coming out of the water. "And he had 7 heads and 10 horns." So it's the same beast. "The woman was dressed in purple and scarlet and was glittering with gold, precious stones, and pearls. She had a cup." So this is very rich, a rich empire. "She held a golden cup in her hand filled with abominable things and the filth of her adulteries. This title written on her forehead: Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of prostitutes and of the abominations of the earth. I saw the woman was drunk with the blood of the saints, the blood of those who bore the testimony of Jesus. And when I saw her, I was greatly astonished. so it's this empire's has killed Christians, many. And then the angel said to me, "Why are you astonished? I will explain to you the mystery of the woman and the beast she rides, which has the 7 heads, 10 horns. The beast which you saw once was, now is not, and will come up out of the abyss and go to his destruction." And we had said that like one of the heads was destroyed and then came back. And the inhabitants of the earth, whose names have not been written in the book of life from the creation of the world, will be astonished when they see the beast, because he once was, now and is not, and yet will to come. So this calls for a mind of wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 hills on which the woman sits. They are also 7 kings, so they're both. 5 have fallen, one is, the other has not yet come, but when he does come, he must remain for a little while. The beast, and so I haven't delved into that part of it. I was just looking at the 10 horns at this point. The beast who once was and now is not is an 8th king. He belongs to the 7 and is going to his destruction. So yeah, so I'm trying to figure out who the 8 kings are, and I've heard some talks on that, but that's not about this right now. The 10 horns you saw are 10 kings who have not yet received a kingdom. So at this point, when John was getting his vision, it was 10 kings that have not yet received their kingdom. But who for 1 hour will receive authority as kings along with the beast. So it won't be a long reign, clearly. They have one purpose and will give their power and authority to the beast. And this is the time of the feet, the miry clay and the iron. So this is the very end, and they'll only be given 1 hour. They will make war against the Lamb, but the Lamb will overcome them, because he is the Lord of Lords, the King of Kings, that is Jesus, and with him with him will be his called, chosen, and faithful followers. That's us. Then the angel said to me, "The waters you saw the prostitute on are peoples, multitudes, nations, and languages." So this place, this mystery Babylon, this it's a kingdom. It's multicultural. It is multicultural. So it's not going to be a place where, like, say, you would say maybe China, which is mainly just with Chinese people or something like that. It has to be a place that is multicultural. The beast and the 10 horns you saw will hate the prostitute. Now, this is key, and this is what kind of tied things into me as to what's going on right now. So the beast that you saw come out of the water with the 10 horns, so these 10 kingdoms, remember what did I talk about Bastille Day? It was 10 nations. They're going to hate the prostitute. So these 10 nations, this mystery Babylon, they're going to hate her. They will bring her to ruin and leave her naked. They will eat her flesh and burn her with fire. They're going to nuke her or burn her with fire. For God has put it into their hearts to accomplish his purpose by agreeing to give the beast their power to rule until God's words are fulfilled. The woman you saw is the great city that rules over the kings of the earth. So this place rules over everyone right now. They're top dog right now. And these 10 horns that are 10, kings or whatever, will turn on her. So I think people see where I'm going here. So let's read. Oh my gosh, this is just like written right out here. It is crazy. Bastille Day was to protect to protect France. Macron was trying to protect France, and those 10 countries were all ganging up to say, we're going to protect them from who is the person they were really worried about. Well, there was Russia, China, and the United States. Whoever rules over everybody right now is who's Mystery Babylon, because that's what it just said. The great city rules over the kings of the earth at this point, when you're in the time period of the clay and the iron feet. Okay, so let's go into 18. After this, I saw another angel coming down from heaven. He had great authority, and the earth was illuminated by his splendor. With a mighty voice he shouted, "Fallen, fallen is Babylon the Great. She has become a home for demons." And remember, it said that it's gonna destroy her with fire, and it's gonna leave her for ruin. So the 10 kings are gonna turn on her, and a haunt for every evil spirit, a haunt for every unclean and detestable bird. For all the nations have drunk and the maddening wine of her adulteries. The kings of the earth committed adultery with her, and the merchants of the earth grew rich from her excessive luxuries. So this place is super wealthy. Then I heard another voice from heaven say, "Come out of her, my people." I've heard that that could be the rapture. I've asked the Lord about "come out of her, my people," because I'm like, I haven't heard that there's a group of people who have been told by the Lord to leave a certain place, but that would make more sense that it could be, the calling up. So let me continue. So that you will not share in her sins, so you will not receive any of her plagues, for her sins are piled up to heaven, and God has remembered her crimes. Give back to her as she is given. Pay back double for what she has done. So I'm going to move down. Says that she boasts. She says that I'm a queen. I'm no widow. So she's obviously completely conceited. She will be consumed with fire. And woe, okay, we're going to go down to verse 10. Woe, woe, O great city, O Babylon, city of power. In 1 hour your doom has come. Remember, the 10 kings are going to reign for 1 hour, and in 1 hour she's destroyed. So this is all very quick. Now, if a week is 7 years, then an hour, I don't know, forgive my math, would be like what? A year? I'm not sure. Anyway, so either way, it's a shorter time. The merchants of the earth will weep and mourn over her because no one buys their cargoes anymore. So basically, and then it goes into all the stuff they bought. So this place must be a huge exporter of many things. They export tons of things, and everybody's upset now because it's gone. They will say, verse 14, the fruit you long for is gone from you. All your riches and your splendor have vanished, never to be recovered. The merchants who sold these things and gained their wealth from her will stand afar, terrified at her torment. They will weep and mourn, cry out, woe, woe, O great city, dressed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and glittering with gold, precious stones and pearls. In 1 hour such great wealth has been brought to ruin. Every sea captain who will and all who travel by ship and sailors and all who earn their living from the sea will stand far off when they see. Remember, she has many ports. So this has to be a place that has many ports. And they're going to be watching, saying she's gone. So they're going to be upset. And then it says in verse 20, rejoice, O heaven. So they're rejoicing. But yeah, like the merchants are very upset. But who is not upset is the 10 kings, because this was all, it said God allowed this to all happen, to go according to his plan, that they would turn on her. So this is all being plotted out. This is all being, thought out right now. These 10 kings are planning on turning on the one who is ruling everything right now. So I'm pretty sure everybody knows where I'm going with this, that the United States seems like it fits the description of Mystery Babylon more than anyone else, in my opinion. I know people have said Jerusalem. The city's going to be burned with fire. So I don't see how that's that, because that's not going to be completely burned with fire. Like, that's where the 2 witnesses are and everything. And it needs many seaports, and Vatican City doesn't have many seaports, and that's another thing, Vatican City, blah, blah, blah. So all I know is this makes the most sense to me. And see here with, this performance that was done, and I don't remember when, but, she's standing on the lion. It's like a big lion. It's a beast. And if you notice her outfit, she's covered in flames. So she's riding the beast. It says the harlot rides the beast, and she's covered in flames. It says it'll be burned by fire. I mean, it would seem that the people doing like these performances seem to know. So anyway, I'm just going to say, I'm not an expert on this. I just had asked the Lord, I just asked, what are these 10 horns? Because I hadn't, if I delved into that a while back, I've forgotten by now because I kind of got sidetracked with other things I was studying. But he so quickly was showing me yeah, this is who it is. And it matches Nebuchadnezzar's dream. And you are in the end. This is the end. You're not only at the feet, but you're at the toes. You're at the very tippy toes. So, and it's not funny. It is just crazy. So, I was painting that picture to show, I won't even go back into the details, but clearly, the mourning of all the people who aren't going to buy their stuff anymore, the seaports, the fact that, so this is the thing that I was trying to show. The Bastille Day was showing that there are these 10 nations, and they listed them out, like Germany, France, whatever, saying basically that they have to team up, and they're the European Union army to defend themselves against the United States. I mean, doesn't this all fit? Basically that, let's just say that they were planning this whole thing out, what's happening with Iran, and that basically then, if there was, and I'm not predicting or saying if there was a destruction or a bombing of the United States or whatever, this would all fit, that they would be already set up, these 10 countries all ganged up together, and then they would just take over, because that's what they were waiting for anyway, because they were fake, that even though they were the horns of the beast and she was riding it. Remember, she was ruling. She was on top of the beast. She's now like, prostitute, you get rid of them. You use them and you get rid of them. So even though she was riding, she was on the very top, she's going to be flung to the side. And biblically, you don't hear about, I hate to say, but like the United States, like you don't hear about them, even though they're the ones, the ruling power. So that is strange if this is the scenario. And I think this is crazy timing because of what is happening right now with Iran. So that's why when I was asking about the 10 horns, and then all of a sudden I realized there were 10 toes, and then this happened right after that. Like I had asked this like maybe a couple of weeks ago. It just was too much all at once, and I knew I had to somehow put something out and get it all packaged nicely and just get it out to you guys. So basically, yes, I'm saying that Mystery Babylon, United States fits that picture a lot more. And I'm not going to get into it all, but I'll show you, like, literally, there's the Lady Liberty molded. It says after the same goddess known as Isis, who is also Venus, Aphrodite, Ishtar, the wife of a false god Baal, and Semiramis, the mother of Tammuz. The T was the original cross. That is why the Bible refers to Babylon the Great as the harlot of false religion. Revelation chapter 18. So, like, you can see the crown, and that's like similar, and it's like a play off of the Revelation 12, the woman with the stars above her head. It's kind of like I think a play off of that. And the other thing that I find interesting is it just me, or does the Statue of Liberty look transgender? So like when I went to New York, I'm from Canada, but when I went to New York for a visit, like I went to Manhattan, and one big thing is like, oh, we're like, oh, we have to go on to see the Statue of Liberty. So funny, because when we got there, it was closed. It was like a big disappointment for us, but I had this feeling, this was ages ago, like more than a decade, and I was like, I shouldn't go up in it. I don't know why, but I never ended up getting to go up in it, but I see man-woman thing going on there. And then here's, more, the mother goddess figure thing, that's Semiramis. Like there's this whole thing, and it all ties back to Babylon. You know what I mean? Like the original Babylon. So it ties into the original Babylon, like all these different, these symbols and stuff like that all tie back to the original Babylon, which would make it be interesting. Like it would make sense to be Mystery Babylon. So basically, if that is the case, then right now what is happening with Iran, I'm not saying it is for sure that, but basically what I'm saying is that it could be that those 10 toes are in the wings waiting, because they're basically at the 10 horns, 10 toes, 10 countries. The ones that I showed in the Bastille Day celebration are waiting for this destruction, or causing this destruction somehow in the like behind the scenes, like from the inside out, Trojan horse kind of thing, to basically play out what God says he's going to allow to play out, so that, they can start the new world order. Because basically if the top dog is gone, you can restart things. But remember, it did say, and I was talking, it said, come out of her, my people. Could it be that that's the moment that we are taken out, and that whole thing starts and the new world order can begin? First, there's a lot of calamity, but then when the dust settles, there you go. So that's kind of like the thing I just wanted to present. It is not an in-depth study about Babylon. It's not an in-depth study about any of these things. It's just kind of like let's just think about this. Could this all be tying in? And when I asked, that just shows asking you will receive. If it is in his will, if you're doing it for the right reasons and the right purposes, you're going to get the info. So just stuff to think on, I guess. And it just seems like, I don't know, we're on borrowed time. So I just, we're just supposed to redeem the time, so that right now we're telling others about the Lord, about salvation, and most of all, his soon return. And life's not easy right now I'm not saying any of this to cause fear. It's just when I asked, it came, and so then I wanted to share. We're not given a spirit of fear, but a sound mind. So all we can do is pray and ask for peace, and just, keep watching and keep staying close to the Lord, abiding in the Lord, and sharing the gospel with everyone we possibly can. So that's pretty much it. Hope you found it interesting, and we will talk again soon. So until next time, God bless and shalom.